Let's continue to examine Tiger Brands now. The share price plunged after the company's factory identified by the health authorities as the source of the outbreak of Listeriosis that has claimed over 180 lives. The subsequent recall of the Enterprise and Rainbow food products have also had a negative impact on informal business owners. Let's talk more about the economic impact of the Listeria outbreak in South Africa. We are joined via Skype by MoneyWeb's deputy editor, Sasha Planting. Sasha, thanks so much for talking to us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Leanne.
So, a difficult day for Tiger Brands yesterday and RCL. I mean, just looking at Tiger Brands alone, I see that they lost 5.7 billion rand in value, down 7.4%. I mean, this was a tough day for them.
A tough day indeed. Shareholders reacted almost instantly in the morning. And then after that, they sat and waited and listened and watched. The share price actually stayed relatively stable for the rest of the day. Yeah. So obviously Tiger Brands is on a very big communications drive to reassure investors, shareholders, stakeholders and the public that they are in control of the situation.
It's interesting, we've just had the CEO seated here in studio and I'm wondering if investors are believing what he's saying. I mean, because there's obviously from the company's point of view, they're doing everything they can to salvage the situation, still saying they're waiting for their own test results, that they are not accepting responsibility as yet, they're not apologizing, but they're working feverishly on this situation. Is this enough? Should there be more transparency or are they doing enough to salvage the situation?
Sure. Are they doing enough? It's a big question, Leanne. This is a very big brand, Enterprise, in a company that makes a living off branded products. So I guess one can understand that they are reluctant to accept the word of the health laboratories and are indeed doing their own tests. But yes, we demand transparency. People have died. 1,000 people have reported to hospitals. Nearly 200 people have died. These companies have to own up and take responsibility.
Yeah, they certainly do. Let's look a little bit deeper into Enterprise as a business unit in Tiger Brands. So what I'm reading is that it contributes roughly 7% to the revenue and 2% to operating profit. So it's pretty much so a small contributor to the overall picture of Tiger Brands. But it's the reputational damage, isn't it? That is much more severe right now to Tiger Brands. In
fact, Leanne, of that division that you're talking about, Enterprise is only a part. Because they have they have Renown, they have a brand called Mealikip, they have another value-added meat brand in there. So Enterprise is by far and away the largest part of that value-added business division, but it's not all of it. But as I said earlier, in companies where brand is everything, this is a massive, massive deal for Tiger. Let's not underestimate it.
Yeah. Let's talk the bigger retailer, because we're just focusing in on Tiger Brands. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is going to affect, firstly, the small businesses that, of course, sell the products. They now have to refund customers. They need to get that money back from Enterprise. I mean, this is a very big circle. How damaging is this?
I think from a time and logistics and a concern about public safety perspective, it's huge. I think it's limited. When you talk about small business, I'm not sure how far these branded products travel down to the really small little spaza shops. I suspect that they are limited to the very big retailers, to the cash and carry stores, to those kinds of stores, and it's easier to actually include them in your network and communicate about a product recall. Financially, I don't think they're going to lose. There's, obviously they will be reimbursed by the big brands, Tiger and RCL. It's just a logistics nightmare. It's a public relations nightmare, even for the retailers who are not directly responsible. It's a public health, a public safety issue.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I mean, let's not discount what's happening with the SADC region, because they're all now saying they're stopping all imports of South African processed meat products.
Indeed.
That's big. That is a big thing.
More than that, Leanne. It's fruits, it's vegetables. I mean, there seems to be a certain degree of panic around. Zambia has just shut the borders.
Yeah.
And that needs to be managed. And I do believe that people are, certainly the Department of Health is trying to manage this. But it's up to Tiger and to a smaller, more limited degree, RCL, to communicate effectively with people. But the SADC region, I mean, then it goes well beyond our the Tiger brands of the world.
Yeah, it certainly is. And again, I bring up, just on a final closing note, I mean, you look at your small businesses. As I was driving to work, I saw a big newspaper headline saying, "Cotta sales drop." And really, I mean, there are guys that rely on this, you know. They take their polony, they make their cotta. This is the breakfast. People eat this. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
and now what do you do? I mean, this is your job. And suddenly now there's this big scare amongst South Africans, and your business drops and everything around that drops. Small businesses, can they claim liabilities from a bigger company due to the loss?
Yes, definitely, definitely. I mean, if they've bought product, anybody who's bought product from these businesses is due a refund if that product has been recalled. In the same way as every consumer who has a little package of goods in their fridge that comes from Enterprise or wherever, they can take it back and get a refund.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt, Leanne, that people are affected, that businesses are affected. And that there will be long-term consequences. But I think at the end of the day, we all survive.
Yeah, I suppose we do. But businesses, but unfortunately it is the consumer that hasn't survived. 181 of them, the biggest amount that's ever been recorded globally, that we heard yesterday.
Yeah.
And that is the devastating part of the story.
That is the tragedy, agreed.
Sasha, thanks for talking to us here on the programme. Sasha is the deputy editor of MoneyWeb. Sasha Planting, thanks again for talking to us over Skype.
Thank you.